Hey, I'm Dr. Chalmers. We're going to go over how to make a castor pack. I've been wanting to kind of redo this video for a little bit, so here we go. So I'm going to show you how to cut this first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we understand where we're going to do this. So the liver packs are going to go right here on the right side, underneath the breast, between the sternum and the rib cage. The kidney packs are going to come down here, right about here, and so you're going to measure the entire length from one side of your body to the other side so that you know how long to make them. So easiest way to do that is to measure it out and then just cut it. So this is the flannel we're going to be using. Measure it out. And when you cut these, try to cut them a straight line. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but get it done. So I usually cut the entire length of the flannel, and then I'll just double this over, cut it in half. That gives you 2, because that's how math works. So we're good. They don't have to be exact. Try to get them close though. All right. So now we're done with that part. We got flannel all over the place. Keep that in mind. That's going to happen. All right. So the next part is you're just going to soak them in castor oil. So put a single sheet down, so one down, and take your castor oil, put it on top. Be generous. It doesn't have to be dripping with castor oil, but it needs to be pretty saturated. Don't try to save 10 cents of castor oil and not have your 45-minute castor pack not work right. So next time, take the next one, put it down on top. Again, more castor oil, because you put castor oil on each one and get it knocked out. Now here's the other thing. There's places all over that I've seen where people say, oh, you can put them in the fridge and reuse them and blah, blah. Don't do that. I mean, just think about it for a second. If you're actually using this to detoxify the body and pull toxins out, why would you want to use a second castor pack again? You'd want to have a new one. So it doesn't really pull it through the skin. It just really helps the organ detoxify. But still, once you've made it, just throw it away and make another one. So this basically helps the organs do what they're already normally going to do, which in the kidney's case is to pull trash out of your blood and clean it up. Same thing with your liver. Now, typically we'll use coffee enemas for the liver, but for younger kids or for people who are just 100% no on coffee enemas, these work pretty well on the liver as well. So next thing we're gonna do is to get it pretty much saturated, I like to roll them up like a cigar, so we get the castor oil kind of evenly distributed. And again, like I said, you don't necessarily need it dripping, but you definitely need it covered. So now the cool thing is that, so like right now you can't really see it because it's really hard to see, but all of the color didn't change. And when I say color change, it's one of those things of, you know, when something gets wet, like a t-shirt gets wet or a cloth of any kind gets wet, the color just gets a little darker. That's what we're talking about. So it's pretty easy. Just go back on and put a lot more on that last piece. Roll it back up. And you can get them pushed through all of them. Again, err on the side of using too much castor oil because you want this to make sure it works really, really well. So then I kind of squeeze it, both sides, get it kind of going through. So should be shiny all the way around. You shouldn't see any differences in color. You shouldn't see any dry spots. So that's how you make your pack. Now you're gonna put this directly on the skin, whether it's on the liver, it's on the kidneys, you're gonna put it directly on the skin. Then you're gonna take one of your far infrared heating pads, and I like to cover them in saran wrap. You need to cover them in a plastic that is clear, that the light can get through, because not only are we trying to use the heat, that's great, it makes you feel good, we're actually going from the light, the far infrared light energy that comes from this. People ask me all the time, you know, hey, can I use my infrared sauna? 100% you can, as long as it's direct far infrared. Lots of times you'll have your far infrared emitters and a piece of cedar or something in front of it because they're going for heat. They're trying to do a heat detox in those saunas, which is great. Those are fantastic. I love them. But if we're going for direct far infrared, you actually have to have the emitter blowing that light on people. You can't see it, it's in a spectrum we can't see, but it's highly important. The actual light's really what we're going for, not the heat. So Cover this in a clear plastic. The plastic's really there just to keep the oil from getting into the pad and damaging the pad over time. So that's what the plastic's for. So like you see, this is literally the one we use at home. So we just wrapped up with saran wrap, and then we'll just take it, we'll put it over the top. So it'll be body, pack, farm fed heating pad, we're good to go. So this is how you do it. If you guys have any other questions, hit us in the comments or something like that. But this is the best way to do it. Kidney castor packs, if you're always questioning, should I do a liver or kidney first? The answer is always kidney. When we're looking at detoxification pathways, kidney's always going to be your limiting reagent. And so we want to do kidneys more often than anything else. This is the big way that we avoid detox reactions. So if you're in the Lyme's community, it's the At Chalmers reactions, more commonly known as detox reactions. Detox reactions are where you start to detox and then you overdo it and you overload your kidneys and you feel like you have the flu. You'll have more anxiety, you'll have low back pain, you'll feel like your joints hurt, you just feel low energy, you feel kind of ugh, like everything you just downshifted, like everything just kind of ugh. That's a detox reaction. They can make you feel like you have the flu. So these are good to avoid. Kidney castor packs are one of my favorite ways of doing this. Also, if you've got anxiety that doesn't seem placed, what I mean by that is if you're like, hey, my dog's dying, my mom's on hospice, I'm probably gonna lose my job, inflation's crazy, have you looked at social media? Those are real things you should go talk to a therapist about. But if you come home and you're like, my life is awesome, everything's great on paper, my relationships are good, life's good, everything's great, why do I have this anxiety? That's one of those things where a kidney castor pack really helps. So try that out, use these for your detoxes. This is how we make them. Ask your questions, your comments, or send them to questions@chalmerswellness.com. Thanks.